Hello, welcome to the next video. As you can see, what we're looking at is area of rectangles and triangles. So the first thing we just want to be really clear on is what we actually mean by the area. And that has a definition we need to be familiar with. So in maths and in lots of other places, what we mean by the area is how much space something takes up in 2 dimensions. So how much space a shape occupies in 2 dimensions. And so, for example, let's say we just about still on the screen there. If I've got a rectangle like this, its area is all the space inside it here that I've shaded in. So remember, perimeter was how far around the outside it was, and area is the inside of it. If I had a triangle, it's the shaded area inside it. Doesn't matter on the shape, your shape could be horrendous, but area is how much space it takes up in these 2 dimensions, this way and that way. Now, obviously, it's going to be very difficult to count up the area of a shape like that, so we're not going to. What we're going to be focusing on here is rectangles and triangles, which are much easier to do. So let's have a look at one where I'm going to try and draw it out really carefully. Here. So. If I had this drawn out, and let's say each of these boxes was 1 centimetre squared. 1 centimetre squared. So units for area is in centimetres squared, or metres squared, or miles squared. Because it's in 2 dimensions, it has a length and a height. So the area of this shape then, if each one of these boxes is 1 centimetre squared, its area is going to be all those boxes added together. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the area of that shape is 12 centimetres squared. So if your shape is split up into little boxes like that, and they're each marked as like 1 centimetre squared, it's really easy to work out the area. You just have to count how many boxes there are. But let's say we had a massive shape, and we don't want to count all those boxes. That's really annoying. So how could we more quickly work out how many boxes there are? Well, we know one sort of row along here, that's 4 boxes, isn't it? Along the bottom there. And then, how many rows of 4 have I got? Well, I've got 3 rows of 4, don't I? So altogether, I've got 3 times 4. And so 3 times 4 gives me 12. And that gives me the formula for working out area, so I don't have to count up all the boxes. Area is just the base of a shape times by its height. So if it's 4 on the bottom and 3 up, its area is 12, 4 times 3. So let's look at some examples of this. I'm just going to draw out a couple of shapes and get us to work out the area of them. Let's say this one is 5 by 2. We'll say this is a square and other side's a 6. And we'll say this one is 3 by 10. And so the area of it, I'm just going to write A for area, is the base times the height. So here that's 5 times 2, Oh, sorry, I should write units on all of these. Centimetres. This one I'm going to write meters. And this one I'm going to write centimetres as well. So it's 5 by 2, which equals 10 centimetres squared. Okay? So that's how much space that takes up, 10 square centimetres. For this one, area equals base times height. Remember, these little lines mean the sides are the same size. So if all these sides are the same, that means they're all 6. So that means the base is 6, as well as the height being 6. So that means it's 6 times 6, which equals 36. But this time it's meters squared, because the lengths of the side were in meters. So meters squared. And then finally for this one, area equals base times height. The base is 3. It's not marked on the bottom, but the top and the bottom are the same. And then the height is 10. So it's 30. And then centimetres, because that's what that's measured in. Centimetres squared. And there we go. That's how you work out the area of a rectangle. It's super easy. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that wasn't on the camera. It's just the base of it times by the height. So, we also want to be able to work out the area of a triangle, though. And that's a little bit different. So, let's say I've got a rectangle here. And it's got a base. And it's got a height. If I wanted to work out the area of this, the area is going to be the base times the height. This is for a rectangle. However, what do I do if I want to work out the area of a triangle? And what we're going to be looking at is we're only going to be focusing on right-angled triangles, really. And so, this rectangle, well, it's made up of 2 triangles, isn't it? Those 2 triangles are the exact same as that rectangle. And the base of this triangle is the same as the base of the rectangle. And the height of the triangle is the same as the height of the rectangle. And then we can see that if we put them next to each other, they're the exact same. So, how does the area of one of these triangles then compare to the area of a rectangle? Well, let's get rid of one of these little cutouts. And can you see then that because there were 2 triangles there, the area of one of these triangles, well, that's just half the area of a rectangle, isn't it? So this triangle here, that's half the size of this rectangle. And so that gives us our second equation. So to work out the area of a triangle, it's just a half times the base times the height. And that's all there is to it. So let's try some practice ones of that. So let's say I've got base of 3, height of 4. Doesn't matter which way round my triangles are. Got a height of 3, a base of 7. And then I've got, what way haven't I done yet? Let's look at this. Got here is 5, here's 4, and again, let's pop some units on them. This one, I'm not going to put any units on there because I've not got space. And so, it's going to be this I'm using. It's a half times the base times the height. So the area equals a half base times height. So that equals a half times 3 times 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. Half of that is 6. So it's 6 centimetres squared. This one, the area, equals a half base times height, which equals a half times 7 times 3. So 7 times 3 is 21, and half of 21 is 10.5, and this is going to be meters squared. And then for this final one, the area equals a half base height. So that equals a half times 4 times 5. So 4 times 5 is 20, and half of that is 10. And I'm not going to put any units on my answer there because there's none in the question. Now, also, what you've hopefully noticed is that it doesn't matter which one I call base and which one I call the height, because it would be 4 times 5, which is 20, or 5 times 4, which is 20. So there we go. Hopefully that was all understandable as to how you work out the area of these shapes. If not, you know how to get in touch, and thanks for watching.